there everyone, welcome back to another 2Max Try video. Once again, you're getting just Joelle content. Stuart is not in this video. I had mentioned in my packing tips video that I wanted to do an expectation versus reality video. I mentioned that I watch a YouTuber, Blair Lamb, who when she does her Disney vacation content, she does an expectation versus reality video. So what she does is before she goes on the trip, she kind of sits down and talks through what her plans are for each day. And then when she comes back, she talks about what they actually did and how things were different. So that is what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna start with Monday and take us through Friday. Those are the days that we're gonna be at Disney, and just kind of let you know what our thoughts are, what we're thinking about doing that day. And then when we get back, I will share how the days actually went. So I'm gonna start with Monday. That's the day that we arrive. We are driving down, we're in Pennsylvania and we're driving down to Disney World in Florida, and we are splitting it over 2 days. So we're gonna be driving the first half on Sunday, and then the second half on Monday. So on Monday we have about a 7-hour drive, and we are hoping to leave the hotel by about 7 a.m. so we can get to our hotel at Disney World at around 3 p.m., which is check-in time. Sometimes the hotel rooms are ready earlier, but 3 p.m. is the check-in time where they will for sure be ready. So we don't have anything scheduled as far as reservations for Monday. Our plan is to, and we have a lot of ideas, maybe stop at the Disney Character Warehouse, which is where things that didn't sell in the parks go to these stores for like a discount. So we may do that. We will probably go to Disney Springs and do either a last minute reservation or a quick service. One of our favorite places to eat at Disney Springs is Polite Pig. So I would really love to have my notes here, so that's what I'm looking at. I would really love to maybe do Polite Pig, and I would also really love to get cookies at Gideon's. And that is kind of our plan for Monday afternoon, evening. So day one was Monday. We had spent the night about 5 or 6 hours away from Disney, and our plan was to get up and leave the hotel by 7 so that we could get to our resort by 3, which was check-in time. We actually left our hotel a little bit early. We tend to do this when we know we have somewhere to be and we have, a little bit of a long trip. We just tend to, as soon as we're up, get ready and go. So I think we're on the road by 6 or 6:30, and we made it into Orlando early. We were at Orlando pretty decently before 3. So we did go to the Character Warehouse, and I don't believe we filmed anything, so you wouldn't have seen that on our daily vlogs, but we actually didn't end up buying anything. They didn't have a huge selection, and those Character Warehouses are kind of hit and miss. Sometimes you find a ton of stuff that's really great prices and in your sizes, and sometimes you don't find much of anything at all. So this was one of the trips where we just didn't really find anything that we had to have. So we went to the Character Warehouses and checked that out, and then by the time we got to our resort, it was 3 o'clock, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. Check-in is at 3, we'll get to our room, we can, shower and have a little bit of a chance to relax before we head to Disney Springs. Well, that didn't happen. The weekend before our trip started, so the Saturday, Sunday, and I guess probably into Monday, there were cheerleading competitions, and I think that they were backed up getting the rooms ready for the next people to get there. So we actually didn't get into our room until after 4. I think it was more like 4:30. And that was only because we went up to the front desk and we're like, hey, what's going on? Because I had done the online check-in. And maybe I shouldn't have done that. I don't know. We'll see how this trip goes coming up in October. So we got into our room by 4:30 and had a chance to take a little bit of a break and relax, and then we headed to Disney Springs. In our expectations video, I mentioned maybe going to Polite Pig, since that's one of our favorites, and definitely stopping at Gideon's and getting some cookies. And we did. We stopped at Gideon's first. The line was not very long. We got our cookies, and then we actually decided to go to Erla's Sandwich. This trip was really fun because we did a lot of new things, and this was the first new thing that we did. And we really enjoyed Erla's sandwich. The Thanksgiving Day sandwich was really good, and we felt like it was a pretty good value for, you know, the Disney cost of things. So we would highly recommend Erla's sandwich. We walked around Disney Springs for a little bit, checked out the Lego store and that kind of stuff, and then we headed back to our room to get a good night's sleep because we were ready to go for day 2. Tuesday is our first day in the parks, and we have Animal Kingdom reserved as our park pass reservation for Tuesday. So our plan is to rope drop Animal Kingdom. They open at 9, and because we're staying on property, we can get in at 8:30. So we're going to rope drop Animal Kingdom and do you know, some of our favorites, the safari, which we always do. We want to do Festival of the Lion King. I would really like to be able to go to Nomad Lounge. I'm not sure how that's gonna work because usually there's like a walk-up wait list, and that can tend to fill up pretty quickly, so that's gonna be a priority. And then we'll probably stay at the park and do all the different things there till 2 o'clock-ish, and our plan is to go back to the hotel for a break. When we're going, currently the weather is supposed to be in the 90s and hot and humid, so our plan is to take a break each day during that hottest part of the day. And we do have park hopper tickets, so we are planning to park hop in the evening over to Hollywood Studios. We've never really done Hollywood Studios in the evening. Most of the times we will open Hollywood Studios and then, you know, leave once we got everything done we want to do. So we have never seen Fantasmic, so that is definitely on our list of things to do. And we also would like to do Slinky Dog Dash and see Toy Story at night, and Toy Story Mania is one of our favorites. It would be fun to get on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Rise of the Resistance. We have done both of those before, but depending on wait times and how the day goes, we want to kind of do those things. And some of our favorite foods at Hollywood Studios. So we really like the Ronto wraps. We'd like to get one of those. We would like to maybe stop at Woody's Lunchbox and get something from there. And I want to get the carrot cake cookie from the Starbucks location, which is called the Trolley Cart Cafe. Every time we go, it's on my list, and we don't ever seem to get it. So that's one of my things I want to do. So that would be Tuesday. Tuesday was day 2, and we went to Animal Kingdom, and we decided to rope drop that day. So we did do that, and we actually rope dropped Expedition Everest. So here was another new thing we had done. Stuart and I are not always roller coaster fans, but we decided to step out of our comfort zone, and we did Expedition Everest, and we loved it. It was so much fun. We were like the second or third people in line, and we rode it, and we're ready to go. We did the safari, we did Festival of the Lion King, we did It's Tough to Be a Bug, we did Nomad Lounge, just like I had wanted to. Nomad Lounge has a walk-up wait list, and I think it opened at 10 or 11. Excuse me, so I was on my phone at the time that you could log in and sign up for the walk-up wait list, and I got on there, and I think we had a return time of like 2 o'clock. So that was awesome, a nice little break in the middle of the day there. So we did Nomad Lounge. I think we stuck around till 2 or 3, somewhere in that range, and we headed back to the hotel for a break. It was a hot and humid, it was May, so it was hot and humid in Disney the whole time we were there, and I think each day got hotter and humider, more humid, and so taking those breaks was really nice, although you'll see one day I didn't, and it was to my detriment. And then we did hop to Hollywood Studios that evening. So after our break, like around 5-ish, 5 or 6, we headed to Hollywood Studios, and we did do Slinky Dog Dash. We did wait in a long line for that one. We did Toy Story Mania. We did Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We didn't do Rise. I think that had been closed down earlier in the day, and so the line was ridiculously long. So we skipped Rise for that night, but we did everything else that we wanted to at Hollywood Studios that evening. Although I didn't get my carrot cake cookie. So I told Stuart, when we go in October, that is my must-do. Like, you cannot let me leave Hollywood Studios until we go to the Starbucks and get that carrot cake cookie. Every trip I say I want to try it, and every trip I don't. So this one, it's gonna happen. And we also didn't really get a chance to hang out at Toy Story at night. We wanted to go see Fantasmic, which we did. And it was a nice show. It was very cute. Would I do it again? Maybe if there was space 10 minutes before it was about to start and you could sneak in. We went and sat and waited for like 45 minutes before the show started, and I wouldn't do that again. But I'm glad that we saw it and experienced it, and if you want to know Stuart's reaction to it, you can go watch our vlogs for that day. So yeah, we stayed till Fantasmic, which I think was at 9 or 9:30, and then after Fantasmic, we followed the crowd out to our buses and got a bus back to our hotel for that night. I have to say, side note, we stayed at All Star Movies, which only has bus transportation, and we really had no problem getting buses or having to wait really long waits. Maybe the longest we waited was 15 or 20 minutes, but they went really smoothly. Very rarely were they like standing room only. It was not that bad. So that was Tuesday, our Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios day. On Wednesday, we have a reservation for Magic Kingdom. We don't really have as many plans for Wednesday. I did not realize it, but when you rope drop Magic Kingdom, there's only certain lands that are open, and I believe they are Tomorrowland and Fantasyland, and we don't really want to rope drop the popular things in those lands. Like, we're not going to do Peter Pan's Flight. We're going to want to rope drop Space Mountain. So we probably won't rope drop that morning. We'll just get there when we get there. One of Stuart's must-dos is Haunted Mansion. We have never done Big Thunder Mountain, so I would like to do that one this trip. And then we'll probably just see what has lower wait times. I'm thinking about maybe doing Genie Plus that day. Stuart is very anti-Genie Plus and wants to just kind of use the app to watch wait times and do it that way, but I would like to try it and see what it's like. And then in the evening, we will probably hop over to Epcot. We do have Via Napoli, the pizza restaurant in the Italy Pavilion, for dinner at 5:30. So we will park hop either after we go back to our hotel, or if we spend the whole day in Magic Kingdom, we'll ride the monorail over to Epcot. And we will do that in the evening. I don't really care to see the fireworks show at Epcot. It's Epcot Forever, which we saw back in 2020, and it wasn't great. So I'm not quite sure what we'll do in the evening. We're gonna kind of play that by ear. I'm excited to see, along with you guys, what we do for Wednesday. So on Wednesday, which was our third day, we had Magic Kingdom reserved for that, and we had mentioned that in the expectation that we weren't planning on rope dropping, so we didn't. We got there around park open, but not any earlier, because there really wasn't anything we wanted to rope drop. I did get Genie Plus this day, which was, I thought, a lot of fun. I really enjoyed trying it out, and it was nice because we did hop to Epcot, spoiler alert, later on in the day, and I had some stacked for Epcot in the evening, which worked out really well. I think I got like 12 or 13 lightning lanes, but that's only thanks to watching Molly from Mammoth Club and allears.net and some of the other Disney YouTubers out there who kind of give you tips and tricks, and we can use it the best and get the most out of it. So that was a lot of fun, and I would really like to do that again one day this trip coming up in October, and I would love to do it if we do Magic Kingdom in the morning and Hollywood Studios in the evening and use it for both of those parks. So stay tuned and see if that happens. At the time of filming, it's September, so we're about a month out from our October trip, so definitely subscribe if you want to see how our trip in October, we're going over Halloween, so we have the Halloween party booked, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely subscribe if you want to see our October trip. So Wednesday, back to Wednesday, we did Haunted Mansion, we did Big Thunder Mountain, I think we did that twice. We did a ton of rides. We did Winnie the Pooh, I did Little Mermaid, we did Jungle Cruise, we did Pirates, we did Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. So we did, like I said, 12 or 13 rides throughout the day at Magic Kingdom, and so that worked out really well. What didn't work out well is that Stuart, being the smart person he was, headed back to our hotel to take a break, probably around 3 o'clock, and I decided I would stick around and hang out at Magic Kingdom until we had dinner reservations at Epcot that night. So I hung out at Magic Kingdom, used a little bit more Genie plus Lightning Lanes, had a Mickey Mouse Rice Krispie from the confectionery, and all of that was fantastic, except I got the hugest blisters on the bottom of my feet. I had worn my hiking sandals, but the ones that have that strap in, and that was not a good idea. So coming up in our trip in October, I will be buying blister band-aids just in case, because that was not fun the rest of the trip. So then we did hop to Epcot. I hopped over using the monorail, and Stuart met me there using the bus from our resort. I had a few Lightning Lanes stacked for that evening, but first we ate at Via Napoli. That was another first that we did. We had never eaten there before, and the pizza was so good. Although on the menu it said that, the pizza size we got would feed 2 to 3 people, it would feed a whole lot more than that. We did really good. We only had one slice left over, but we didn't bring it with us because we didn't want to carry it. But we had the arugula, prosciutto, and cantaloupe pizza, and it was delicious. So that is one we are doing again in our October trip. We're going to take my brother Luke and his girlfriend Steph, and Luke and Steph are going to come and have Via Napoli with us, so that will be a lot of fun. Alright, and then we also did Remy's Ratatouille. That was another one that was new, and that was a lot of fun, although Stuart was a little disappointed that it was mostly screens, and that you wasn't quite as immersive as some of the other rides are. And then I also had a Lightning Lane for Frozen, but that was at 8 o'clock at night, and by the time we had finished Remy's, it was only 6:30 or 7, and I was like, I'm done. We're heading back to the resort. So we headed back to the resort. I was able to rest my feet, get my blisters taken care of, so I was ready for our next day. On Thursday, we have Epcot reserved, and we are going during a Flower and Garden Festival, which we have never done before. So I would really like to spend some time on Thursday checking out the topiaries and getting some food from the food booths. And then I think we're going to try and do Guardians of the Galaxy through the virtual queue. So that's the free version that you have to reserve at 7 a.m. and then you get a return time to come back to ride later on in the day. So we're gonna give that a go and see what happens there. And then just probably spend the day walking around Epcot doing World Showcase. We also will probably do the things at the front of the park. I think they're called World something now. World Discovery and World Nature, or I don't know. They changed the names. But we like to do Living with the Land and Spaceship Earth and Soarin', and we like Figment. So we'll probably do those at the front of the parks. And then the other ride we really would want to do would be the Ratatouille, Remy's Ratatouille ride. We didn't get a chance to do that the last time we went, so I think we'll make that a priority this trip as well. Day 4, Thursday, was our last full day at Disney, and we had Epcot reserved for that day. So we went to Epcot. It was the Flower and Garden Festival, which was the first time we had ever been to Epcot for the Flower and Garden Festival. And we really wanted to have a chance to kind of explore all of that the festival had to offer, and we didn't do a great job of that. We spent a lot more time at Hollywood Studios this trip, and normally we spend a lot of time at Epcot. So I was glad that we got to do everything at Hollywood Studios, but I wish we would have spent more time at Epcot. So we were able to eat around the world a little bit before we got full, check out some of the topiaries. We did Guardians of the Galaxy, and we got the virtual queue, and we were group 8 or something like that. Stuart was on his phone before 7, I was on my phone, and we always both tried to get the Lightning Lane, the virtual queue, sorry. And Stuart is always the one that gets it. I don't know what it is about his phone, but his phone always does better. So we did Guardians of the Galaxy. We were called before the park even opened. So we got there at 8:30 for the early entry, and we had no line, there was nobody there. We walked right on, and it was awesome. If you want to hear our review of Guardians of the Galaxy, make sure you check out our daily vlogs. And we actually even bought the individual Lightning Lane and paid for it to ride it again that day because it was so much fun. So we did that. We did Remy's Ratatouille thing again. We rode all of our favorite rides in the front of the park. We did Figment, and we did Living with the Land and Soarin' and Spaceship Earth and all of that stuff. Some of our favorite things to do at Epcot. And then we headed back to our resort for a little bit of a break. And then we decided to hop to Hollywood Studios because we hadn't had a chance to see Toy Story at night. This was also the afternoon where it poured. Luckily, we got back to our room before it started raining, I believe, and we were able to just kind of hang out during the rain. It seemed like it was starting to lighten up, so we decided to head out to Hollywood Studios. I had my raincoat, Stuart had his poncho, and it poured the whole way there too. We got wet and it was fine, but yeah. Sometimes I think you just have to grin and bear it and keep going through the rain at Disney, right? So we did Hollywood and Vine for dinner, which is a character meal, and I got that reservation last minute. The food is nothing like super crazy fantastic, but it was good, and it was nice to see and get some pictures with characters because we hadn't really done any character meet and greets the whole week. So that was fun. And then we went and rode Rise of the Resistance, and it was not a long wait. I think it was a posted like 45-minute wait, and we were through the line within like 20 minutes. And then we also got some of the popcorn that's in Batu, the blueberry and spicy popcorn. And I think we really would have been able to do a lot more things with like little to no wait that night, except they were having a DVC event that evening at Hollywood Studios. So as like all the day guests were leaving in the rain, once the rain stopped, all the DVC guests started showing up. So what I think would have been a really empty park ended up not being as empty as I was kind of expecting it to be. So that was a bit of a disappointment. So we rode the few things we had wanted to that we didn't get to do the last time at Hollywood Studios, and then we headed back to our room. You know, this is day 4 of the trip. We're getting tired, and we were ready to, you know, take a break and wind down for the night. And that was day 4. On Friday, we have Hollywood Studios reserved, and we also have Boma at the Animal Kingdom Lodge for breakfast at 8:40. So we probably will not rope drop that morning, and we may change our reservation from Hollywood Studios to something else. I'm not sure. We're going to play that day by ear. I just checked. It is like 4 days before we're going to be in Disney when I'm filming this, and currently the park pass reservations are still fully available. So I can swap that out if we need to. But we're kind of, I think that's our last day, Friday, and we are going to be driving Friday evening to Savannah, Georgia. It's about a 4-hour drive. So we will have to leave sometime between 3 and 5 p.m. to get on the road. So we probably won't be doing any park hopping. So whatever park we want to spend more time in, that's what I'll swap our reservation to. And then we'll do Boma for breakfast and head to whatever park we want to spend some time in. Yeah, and so that is kind of our plan for the week, the 4 days that we're spending in Disney. And you know, we have done a few trips where things have been very, very scheduled to the point where we have, you know, a dining reservation every day. And back when they did fast passes, you know, we had the 3 fast passes reserved for each day. And we felt that that was a lot of things. You were just running from one reservation to the next reservation, and it didn't really leave room for spontaneity or, you know, the time to do things as they popped up. And so we went in 2020 in October when the parks were at much lower capacity during COVID, and there were not as many reservations available to be made. And we really enjoyed just kind of seeing where the day took us. And we've decided that that's kind of how we like to do Disney, is that with fewer reservations, and you know, there's always some reservations available the day before, the day of for restaurants, and we can just check through, like scroll through the app and see what's available if there's something we want to try and get. Other than that, we feel like when you discover a really good quick service, that's perfectly fine by us. We really like Satuli Canteen in Animal Kingdom. We really like Woody's Lunchbox in Hollywood Studios. Sleepy Hollow isn't quite a quick service, but they do have, you know, a really good waffle sandwich for breakfast and for lunch and dinner. So we like to stop at Sleepy Hollow and get snacks, and Stuart likes the cheeseburger spring rolls outside of Adventureland. And so we kind of like to snack on little bits throughout the park as opposed to doing a couple hours of a sit-down meal most days. So that's kind of how we're planning it today. For this trip, we are, spoiler alert, going back to Disney in October for a little bit more of a planned trip. So I will hopefully do another one of these when we go in October, and that will give you a chance to see the differences between more of a relaxed, spontaneous trip as opposed to a more planned, scheduled trip. If you want to see our Disney vlogs, I am planning on vlogging every day that we're down there and just kind of taking you along with us as we do the different things and go to the different parks. Make sure you subscribe and you hit the notification bell. You can follow us on Instagram. Hopefully I'll be posting pictures over there. I'm not great at it, but I'll try to get better. And I can't wait for you guys to see what our trip is like. I can't wait to see what our trip is like, and hopefully you enjoyed seeing this little bit of what we expect to do versus what actually happens. Day 5, our last partial day, and we had originally had Hollywood Studios reserved a park pass reservation for that day. But because we had spent so much time at Hollywood Studios already, we decided to switch it over to Magic Kingdom and spend the morning in Magic Kingdom. We had Boma reserved for breakfast, which is at Animal Kingdom Lodge. We had been there for dinner and really enjoyed it. We actually have it booked for dinner again in our October trip, so we decided to try it for breakfast. So we did breakfast. It was really good. I feel like there were so many options on the buffet, and everything that I tried was really good, but Stuart preferred dinner. So, you know, whatever you want to do. So we did Boma for breakfast, and then we headed to Magic Kingdom for our last little bit. I had originally set in our expectations that we were going to stick around till, 2, 3, 4 p.m. and then head to Savannah, Georgia for the night as we started our trip back home. But we actually didn't spend that much time at Magic Kingdom. We probably spent 2 or 2.5 hours there. Did the rides we wanted to finish up and just kind of walked around and took in all the sights. And then we were pretty much ready to go. I said to Stuart, let's just head out. It'll be nice to get to where we're going before it gets dark. And so we headed out probably around 12 or 12:30 and got back to our car, got our luggage, and we were on our way. And that was the end of our Disney trip. So I had originally, in our expectations, said that we were kind of going to have a nice trip and take it easy and take a break each day. And, just this is kind of a spontaneous trip that we planned kind of at the last minute. And there's something about Disney when you get there, at least for me, it's like, oh my gosh, I just want to get all of the things done and get as much in as I possibly can. And because it was a shorter trip, I kind of felt that we didn't have as much time and I had to go. And after we finished up and got home, I kind of wished we had taken it easy a little bit more, taken in the sights, and not been so on to the next thing. So I'm gonna try and take that attitude of not rushing and not trying to cram everything into one trip into my October trip. Our October trip is a little bit longer, and like I said, we're doing it with Luke and Steph, so I think that feeling of having to get everything done in the few days won't be there, but I'm hoping we can kind of have a nice, fun, easygoing trip. We have 7 park days, which by day 7 we'll be pretty exhausted. We do have a rest day in the middle where we have the Halloween party in the evening, but we have nothing planned the whole day. So hopefully that day we can take it easy a little bit, but I know that Luke is like, we have to get Gideon's cookies, and so we probably will do Disney Springs that day. But I am really excited, to see how this trip goes, to have fun. At the time of filming this, D23 just happened, and so they announced a whole bunch of things that are coming. And a few things will be there for when we go in October, like they're doing Soarin' Over California at Walt Disney World instead of Soarin' Around the World, so I'm excited for that. There's a Figment meet and greet that we can maybe do, and then the Moana water walkthrough thing will also be open by the time we go. So I hope you guys come along with us. I hope you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see when our October trips go live and that you can see all of those fun new things we're about to do. If you have any questions about our trip, feel free to leave it in the comment below. I would love to answer any questions you may have or give you some tips and tricks and things that worked for us. So I can't wait to see you guys in the next video, and especially in our October Disney trips. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.